Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into something I think we all love to talk about: food.
Yeah,
This deep dive is all about learning English
that's right.
through everyday conversations, and we're focusing on how to help you talk about your favorite foods in English.
Yeah, that's a great way to practice.
So imagine you're at a restaurant with friends, or maybe you're just chatting with someone new. How do you talk about what you like to eat? What are some easy phrases you can use? That's what we're here to help you with today.
Absolutely.
We've got a fun dialogue between two friends, Jake and Emily, that we'll use as our guide.
It's a really natural conversation, to give you some great ideas.
Perfect. Are you ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. To help you follow along, I'll be reading Emily's lines, and our expert will be Jake. Let's listen to their conversation.
Okay.
Hey, Emily, have you tried that new Italian restaurant near the office?
Not yet. Is it good?
Yes. Their pasta is amazing.
Yeah.
The sauces are so rich.
I love pasta, especially with creamy sauce. What did you order?
I had their mushroom risotto. It was so
Oh,
flavorful.
sounds delicious. Let's go there together next time.
Okay, and we can try their desserts too. I heard they're great.
That sounds great.
Okay, that was fun. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hungry already.
Me too.
But before we order a pizza, let's take a closer look at some of the words and phrases that Jake and Emily used.
Yeah, that's how you can really start using these in your own conversations.
Because that's how you can really start using these in your own conversation.
Exactly.
So one word that Emily used to describe the sauces was rich. What does that mean when we're talking about food?
Rich is a great word to use when something has a lot of flavor. It's like the flavor is very strong and fills your mouth.
So it's not just about how it tastes, but also about how intense the flavor is.
That's right. Think about a really good chocolate cake or maybe a sauce with lots of spices. Those are examples of rich foods.
Got it. So it's like
Yeah.
the flavor is really powerful.
Mm.
Now, Emily also used the word flavorful to describe the risotto. What's the difference between rich and flavorful?
Flavorful is a more general word. It just means that something tastes good and has a nice flavor.
So you could use flavorful for almost any food that you enjoy.
Right, exactly. You can use it for pasta, for chicken, for vegetables, anything.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, another word that popped up in the conversation was creamy. Jake mentioned that he loves pasta with creamy sauce. Can you explain what creamy means when it comes to food?
Creamy describes something that is smooth and soft, like a sauce or a soup. It usually has a lot of fat in it, like cream or butter.
So if you like things that melt in your mouth, you probably like creamy foods.
That's right. Think about ice cream or mashed potatoes. They're also creamy.
Okay, so we've covered rich, flavorful, and creamy. Those are some good basic words to describe how food tastes.
Yes, they are. And remember, you can use these words for any type of food.
Now let's move on to some of the key phrases that Jake and Emily used in their conversation. One phrase that stood out to me was, "Have you tried restaurant name?" It seems like a pretty common way to start a conversation about food, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a great way to ask someone if they have experience with a certain restaurant and to open up a conversation about food. It's a friendly way to see if they liked it too and to get their recommendations.
You just reminded me of something I sometimes get confused about. When to use tried versus been to when talking about restaurants.
Mm.
Can you explain the difference?
That's a great question. You use tried when you're specifically talking about the food at a restaurant. Like, have you tried the pizza at that new place? But you use been to when you're talking about visiting the restaurant itself, whether you ate there or not. Like, have you been to that new Italian restaurant downtown?
Ah, that makes perfect sense. Thanks for clearing that up. Now, let's look at another phrase from the dialogue. What did you order? What's the best way to use this phrase naturally in a conversation?
Well, after you ask someone if they've tried a place, what did you order is a natural follow-up question. It shows you're interested in what they chose, and you might even get some good ideas for what to order yourself.
It's like saying, tell me more about your experience without actually saying it.
Exactly, and it keeps the conversation going.
Okay, and the last sentence we want to focus on is, let's go there together next time. This one's a little more direct, right? Is it okay to use this phrase? even if you don't know the person very well?
It depends on the situation. If you're talking to a close friend or a coworker you see often, it's perfectly fine. It shows you're enthusiastic about trying the restaurant and want to share the experience with them.
So it's a friendly way to suggest a future outing.
Exactly. But if you're talking to someone you just met, it might be a bit too forward. You could say something like, "We should try it sometime instead."
That's a good point. It's always better to err on the side of caution when you're just getting to know someone.
Right.
Okay, so far we've covered some useful vocabulary and key phrases for talking about food. Now let's quickly review the vocabulary words we've discussed so far.
Repetition is important for learning new words.
That's right. So to recap, rich describes a food with a strong, intense flavor. Flavorful simply means that something tastes good. And creamy describes a food that is smooth and soft.
You got
And don't forget those important phrases. Have you tried restaurant name? What did you order? And let's go there together next time. These are your building blocks for having great conversations about food in English.
Exactly. And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
If you're finding this deep dive helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. Your support really helps us create more content like this.
We're always here to support you on your journey to learn English, so stay tuned for more exciting deep dives into everyday conversations.
It's amazing how just a few simple words and phrases can really boost your confidence when talking about food in English.
Absolutely. And the great thing is you can use these phrases in all sorts of situations, not just at restaurants.
That's true. You could be at a party, a potluck, or even just chatting with friends online.
Exactly. The key is to practice and have fun with it.
Well, speaking of practice, how about we revisit Jake and Emily's conversation one more time? This time, let's really focus on how they use those key phrases and vocabulary words we've been talking about.
That's a great idea. It's like listening with a new set of ears now.
Ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go, Jake. Have you tried that new Italian restaurant near the office?
Not yet. Is it good?
Yes, their pasta is amazing. The sauces are so rich.
I love pasta, especially with creamy sauce. What did you order?
I had their mushroom risotto. It was so flavorful.
Sounds delicious. Let's go there together next time.
Okay, and we can try their desserts too. I heard they're great.
There you have it. Rich, creamy, flavorful. They used all the words. And they even made plans to try the restaurant together, using that great phrase we talked about.
They did. See, using those phrases and words in real conversations is easier than you might think.
It really is. And the best part is you can adapt them to talk about any food you like. Maybe you're not a fan of Italian food? That's okay. You can use these same phrases to talk about your favorite Thai dishes, Mexican food, or even just a simple sandwich.
Exactly. It's all about finding the words that work for you and using them with confidence.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little challenge. Think about your absolute favorite food. What is it about that food that makes you love it so much? Is it the rich flavor, the creamy texture, the way it smells, or something else entirely?
That's a great challenge. I'm already thinking about how I would describe my favorite dish in English.
And once you've got that down, try recommending that dish to a friend in English. You'll be surprised how much fun it can be.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into talking about favorite foods in English. We hope you've learned some new vocabulary and phrases that you can start using today.
Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use these words and phrases, the more natural and confident you'll become.
If you enjoyed this deep dive and found it helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more English learning tips and tricks. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up.
We're always here to support you on your English learning journey. Happy learning.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.